All set? All right, everybody, welcome to the May 22nd, 2019 Board of Selectmen's meeting. Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So, sorry for the delay tonight. Traffic is heavy, and we were waiting for one selectman to get here.
No, I was thought it was at 7.
I was trying to cover you back there, dude. First thing on the agenda is a public hearing for a liquor transfer, change of manager from the Imperial Ballroom LLC, DBA Grandview, to GV Mendon Management LLC. So, take a motion, Lonnie, for the, to open up the public hearing.
Yep.
Get the motions right there. Just read the motion, and then we'll read the,
Oh, I got you. I move to open the public hearing for the transfer of license and change of manager for an alcohol license from Imperial Ballroom LLC, DBA Grandview, to GV Mendon Management LLC at 6 Nipmuc Drive.
step down in second.
Can I read this?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
And this was the notice that we posted in the paper?
Yeah, you can read that.
Quick read. Notice is hereby given the town of Mendon, acting by and through its duly elected Board of Selectmen, will hold a public hearing on May 22nd, 2019 at 6:30 PM in the upstairs meeting room of the Mendon Town Hall, located at 20 Main Street, Mendon, to consider the application of Imperial Ballroom LLC, DBA Grandview, to transfer its all alcohol beverage license to GV Mendon Management LLC. Notice of this hearing is given pursuant to the rules and regulations of the Massachusetts Alcoholic Beverage Control Commission under MGL Chapter 138, Section 12. All interested parties will be given an opportunity to be heard.
All right, very good. All right, welcome.
Thank you. For the record, Mr. Selectman, first of all, congratulations, Mr. Tinio, on your election to the board. Nice to see you. And before we start, I wanted to just first of all, I should introduce myself. I apologize. Joseph Antonellis on behalf of the transferor, Imperial Ballroom. I was involved in the preparation of the application together with the transferee, and I want to just take one moment to thank your staff for their cooperation in getting the application put together and the public hearing notice done so that we were able to have the hearing tonight. The efforts of the town hall are greatly appreciated. So I just want to start with saying that. To my right, Patrick Gillen and Georgiana Sandi, who are the applicants. They are the representatives of the transferee. They are hoping to join the Mendon community as the new operators of what you all have remembered as First Lakeview and now Grandview. The success of the facility has brought the attraction of people in the entertainment and function industry, and Patrick and Georgiana have significant experience in that industry. Found that this particular location, the way in which the venue has been improved and advertised, and the type of wedding and events that are going on there, made it very attractive to them, and they are much looking forward to coming in and running the food and beverage operation, and as the business will transition to the new owner at that point. So I say that as a background. I'm not here to speak for Patrick and Georgiana. They're very well versed, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of an idea of what's going on. Ashley Johnson Travorta, who is sitting behind me. Ashley is a present employee of Imperial Ballroom. She's a trusted person in our organization there, and she has agreed to assume the job and duties as manager under the liquor license for the new applicant. She is well trained in the industry also, holds all of the requisite manager certificates and tip certifications that are required of a person of that, has an intimate knowledge of the types of function are there, and I think will transition very nicely for the new owners. With that, I will obviously turn the floor over to Patrick and Georgiana, and they can tell you who they are and what they're hoping. But again, we're seeking your approval tonight to transfer the license to their entity and to name Ashley as the manager under that license. Thank you.
Okay, name is Patrick Gillen. I am From New York, all of my family, or except for me, is a New York City police officer, so it's nice to be in some place that's a government office where people aren't being arrested and thrown behind bars. So my family has been in the business for over 30 years, which is how I fell in love with the business. And with my partner, Georgianne, we sort of did a study of different industries to invest in and became very focused on this industry based on that experience and her significant experience in the hospitality industry, which she can talk about. And so we studied very thoroughly the Massachusetts market, and we became very focused on this area because combination of demographics, and very, very focused on the Grandview, which we actually rated in one of our top 5 places in the state, and are looking forward to really trying to bring marginally a little bit more efficiency to the operation with maybe bigger buying power and things like that, but really not much is going to change. Everybody is staying in place. We're perfectly happy with the facility as it is right now, and I'm looking forward to hopefully spending some nice quiet hours after work on the lake.
I'm Georgianne Fasadny. Everybody calls me Georgie for short. And I have been in the hospitality industry my whole career. So I went to school for it since I was 17 years old. I did the whole thing, starting with pot washing and cocktail waitressing and checking in and checking out and bartending and everything. So I'm fully versed and trained in the hospitality industry. I've actually managed a restaurant for the hotels that I worked for. And although I've been primarily in hotels, I've touched on all aspects of the hospitality industry, from operations to consulting to investing. I've asset managed some extremely large hotels, some famous ones in the Middle East, the Essex House in New York, where I had to oversee operations and including food and beverage service, et cetera. So this is my passion, this is my life. And Pat and I worked together a long time ago, and we decided it was a time in our life, and we decided we were going to follow our passions, and this is it. So we're really excited about the Grandview. It's a beautiful facility, and we really like the people that are already there. We don't see any changes. It'll just be better, and just continue to get better and better. It's fairly new they've had it for maybe 2-3 years, so
Absolutely.
we just want to keep on going and be excited about it and have everybody be happy to be there and have a good culture and be a part of the Mendon community.
Yeah. I mean, I've enjoyed watching the transformation, knowing what it's from, being here, growing up here, and knowing what it was before and was a great venue before, and watching what was done with it over the past few years. And I would be happy to see it continue to grow and even get better than it already is. But we're excited to have you guys join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. I mean, I really don't have any questions outside of, just knowing that you guys are experienced and it's going to continue on and it's still going to be part of our community. So I think that's, from my perspective, is a good thing. And I look forward to, from my perspective, seeing what you guys are going to do for the changes to make it better than what it is right now, which is going to be a high bar to cross because it's a pretty good venue right now. So.
We totally agree with that.
Yeah, okay. I'd love to get some public comment, if there's any public comment. Okay. We're in, sorry, we got one question. Go ahead.
Hi. What other venues do you guys have, like either in New York or over here, like either for yourselves or through your partnership together? Sure. Have you guys actually, are you running right now?
Sure. So with our management partners and consultants, there are 5, and this is my family. So I helped them buy and run them for the years. So there's 5. So there's most recent one is La Chateau in South Salem, New York, Candlewood Inn in Brookfield, Connecticut, the Riverview Inn in Simsbury, Connecticut, the Waterview in Monroe, and the Fox Hill Inn also in Brookfield.
And I do have a couple other questions.
Okay.
When is the actual, so this is the hearing for, and I don't know if this is to you folks or to the selectmen, but, so this is a public hearing for the transfer of the liquor license. When's the actual changeover from the current ownership to your firm?
I'll answer that. The purchase and sales agreement calls for the changeover to occur upon the approval of the transfer of the liquor license by the Commonwealth, by this board and then the Commonwealth of Massachusetts, the ABCC.
Okay.
So in short, as soon as the ABCC gets done with their investigation relative to the suitability of the applicant, then the license would come back to Town Hall here, and when it comes back, then we would arrange for a closing. And all of the events that are presently scheduled will be honored particularly and specifically as to the contracts. There's explicit language in our agreement relative to that.
Okay.
So there's a specific, there's a purchase and sale that's going to be happening from the current owners of the business to you folks right now, in addition to all of the liquor license transfer.
I just want to make sure that you are clear, because your statement was a little choppy. The way that I just understood it is there's a purchase and sales agreement that's contingent on the passage or the agreement from the Board of Selectmen tonight, as well as the ABCC.
Right, but as soon as the Board of Selectmen approve that, it'll obviously then go to the ABCC, that's the process, correct?
Yep.
That's correct, yep,
And then it'll go to the ABCC and
Yep.
then they'll,
that's right.
have their full language, the process. And then the business will then transfer over, and there'll be some sort of purchase and sale financial sort of agreement.
Right, exactly.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay. Hearing none, seeing none. I'll take a motion to close the public hearing.
I move to close the public hearing for the transfer of license and change of manager for an all-alcohol license from Imperial Ballroom LLC, DBA Grandview, to GV Mendon Management LLC at 6 Nutmeg Drive.
Step down second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve the transfer of license and change of manager for an all-alcohol license from Imperial Ballroom LLC, DBA Grandview, to GV Mendon Management LLC at 6 Nipmuc Drive.
Step down in second. Discussion? Anything? No. Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Great.
Appreciate
Thank you.
the cooperation, appreciate the cooperation of your staff. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Yes, good luck with everything, and
All right,
hope everything goes well.
we got a couple other agenda items on this just to get through related to this, so if you guys want to stick around for a few minutes. Okay.
Yeah, the common vic. and-
Yeah, you don't, Joe, you don't need to stay here. All right. All right, so I'll take a motion on the common vic.
I move to approve a common victular license for GV Mendon Management LLC at 6 Nipmuc Drive.
Step down in second. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I move to approve an entertainment license Monday through Saturday for GV Mendon Management LLC at 6 Nipmuc Drive.
Step down in second. Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye. I move to approve an entertainment on Sunday license from 1 PM to midnight for GV Management LLC at 6 Nipmuc Drive.
Step down in second. Discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Okay.
Okay, that's it.
Welcome to the community.
Thank you very much. We're really
Alrighty.
looking forward to it. Thank you so
I'm
much.
sure we'll see you at some of the events over there if you're in town, right?
I hope
Yeah, we
so.
will be.
All right,
All right,
great.
good.
All right, great, thanks.
Thank you.
All right. Consider the request of an American Legion to hold their Memorial Day Parade on 5/27/19.
I move to allow the Roger L. Wood Post Number 355, Department of Massachusetts American Legion, to hold a Memorial Day Parade on May 27th, 2009.
Step down in second. Discussion on that.
This is just the annual parade, right?
Annual
Be
parade.
Monday starts 8 PM, 8 AM? 8 p.m. would be easier,
I
but-
believe it does.
8 AM?
Do you know if it starts at 8 a.m., just so we can get the word?
I got a note that it was 8 AM, but I also
It
thought
usually
today
is.
this meeting was 7, so.
Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make this year. I'm going to be away. What? I'm going to be away. I don't have my book today. Oh, here we go.
So muster at 7:30, and then that means it would start at 8 AM. Yep. So it starts down at, is it still the same? Starts down at Custom Alarm. We'll come up through town, head up to hit the cemetery, the war memorial here, the one up at the top of the street, back down around, end over here.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, same as always.
Yeah.
Great parade. I'm sorry I'm going to miss it this year. All right, any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, consider the appointment of Adam Jackson, Evan Labrie? Did I say that right? Okay. And Darren Simpson as recruit firefighter. Hey, Chief.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hey, Chief, what's happening?
Quick introduction, this is Evan Labrie right next to me and Darren Simpson next
Hey,
to
guys.
him.
Hey, guys.
Our third person, Adam Jackson, got tied up at work in Boston and was not going to be able to make it back tonight. Similar to our 4 recruits that you had appointed back in the December-January timeframe, they'll be finishing up the end of June, and they all are doing very well. We have 3 recruits that will be entering into the June class per your appointment. They have all gone through the normal application process, background checks done by the police department, medical physical at Reliant Medical, as well as successfully completing the state physical ability test for firefighters. So they're ready to go, just waiting on appointment from the board, and they are already registered for that class.
Fantastic. So I'll take a,
What number are we on?
it's number 8.
Yep. Sure. Okay, great. I move to appoint Adam Jackson, Evan Labrie, and Darren Simpson as recruit firefighters.
So I'll step down in a second. Discussion on that. I guess the only thing I'd have to say is, Chief, great job, building our department up. It's
You bet. The lawn signs that we put out right in the November, December timeframe really got a lot of interest, and we're getting to a point where I need to start considering if we're somewhat at the point that that's the right level for us to maintain, just due to cost of equipment and gear and that. But thank you, yeah, and these gentlemen stepping up, they are all from Mendon, so they are residents of the community. We've had a great response from the community.
It's awesome. Yeah, it's great to see that.
all right. As I always say, Chief, I trust your judgment on your appointments. So I mean, me personally, I really don't have any. Me personally, don't have any questions. For the recruits, except to say one comment is thank you for your willingness to step up and support your community. So I think that's fantastic.
Yep.
And, you got anything to say on that?
No, I definitely trust your judgment. I wouldn't be able to pick a firefighter out of a fire if I...
You got to put them on
takes
the
a
hot seat.
Hopefully, it's not a hot seat.
It takes a certain person to do what you guys do. Thanks. I appreciate you stepping up.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? No? Okay. All right. All in favor?
All right.
All right. Okay. So
Welcome aboard, guys.
Welcome aboard. All right.
Thank you so much.
Cool. All right, so consider the appointment of Jason Bagma and Craig Burnham as fire lieutenants.
Hey, guys. What's happening?
Or-
Good timing, Craig's just coming back from an accident call in town.
Time not just right, huh? All right, all right,
So
Chief.
shortly after I started, I gave a 1-month update to the board, and at that I had shown you a draft of a hierarchy or an organizational chart, and said that I intended to hold a lieutenant's test to try and start putting in some company officers, and as we added people to the department, to start kind of putting a structure together that I didn't have to have 18 people coming to me for direction, but to put some company officers in place. So we did hold a written test in early March. It's a test that I had used in my previous position, previous department, on 2 occasions. And it was a pretty tough test, fair but tough. I think the highest score, even in my previous department, was an 82 on it. We had 5 members take the test, and both Craig and Jason passed that test. The passing score was a 70 or better. Following that, I got a board of chiefs together, the fire chief from Sutton, from Douglas, and a district chief from Northbridge. and they held an interview and assessment of both Jason and Craig, and their feedback to me was very positive. That interview and assessment consisted of normal management, leadership type questions, but also had 3 incident scenarios that they had to work through. Jason's got extensive background in the fire service. He's been a lieutenant on a career department in Bellingham for 4 or 5 years now. He's got Fire Officer 1, 2, and 3, fire instructor, received his fire chief credential as well within the past year. So he's a very strong candidate, and that came from that interview board as well. The interview board was also pleased with the performance of Craig during that process. Craig's been a member of the Mendon Fire Department for many years, career for 3 or 4 years now, and since I've started here, Craig's been very helpful to me in making some change and adapting to the type of department and the structure that I'm trying to put in place. So I'd like to ask the board to please appoint them to the positions of lieutenant. I've talked with them about the groups that we would put together to try and change the way the responses are in town. So for 2 reasons. One, we don't have 18 people responding and therefore having to be compensated for what could be a small call. But 2, we'd be at a point where our on-call people will be assigned to coverage time. So not only will we not have too many people, but we will know somebody's going to be coming. And our goal is to have an officer of the department on every call so that we know that the call's being handled appropriately for a fire response. I'm very comfortable in recommending these 2 for an appointment to lieutenant. I've worked with Jason in our previous department as well, and he's what I'll call a firefighter's firefighter. And Craig, as I said, has been very helpful to me since I've been here, and I think this would be a great step for them.
Fantastic, Chief. So I remember appointing actually both of you guys. So, certainly know their qualifications. We've talked about that in the past, and we've also talked about your plans moving forward extensively in a bunch of board meetings. I think it's great how the department's moving forward. I've been in support of your plan, since you've laid it out, and so I can't see any reason why we wouldn't want to appoint these 2 gentlemen.
Great.
Yeah, I know I'm just coming in. When I was previously a selectman, it had slightly changed to, and I don't know if lieutenant was still a position, but it went to a deputy chief. Is that changed again now to, is the lieutenant position now what was the deputy chief, or, sorry, and again, only because it might have changed since I left.
Yep. So prior to me coming here, the department had lieutenants in position, and then they were elevated to assistant chief positions.
Okay, right, sorry.
That was both Mark Bacchino and Michael Zarella.
Yep.
I based my organizational chart a little bit on what we've done in my previous department, but also taking MRI's input. MRI is one who did the management report.
Mm-hmm.
So the organizational chart has the chief and an on-call deputy chief.
Yep.
And then it's got the group officers.
Okay.
At that level now. Because the union contract recognizes the job descriptions or the job appointments that were made previously.
Okay.
I can't just change titles without cause, but the point is, within the organization, there's going to be that level of officers that lead the groups.
Okay.
And
Understood.
so it'll be.
I get it. Thank you.
Any other questions on this?
No, I think it's a great idea. Again, so what I just got elected a week ago, so I'm still a little green on everything. I was paying attention prior to, in anticipation of. But again, your qualifications precede you, and again, knowing these guys, that I believe you're making the right decision. So.
Sure, and any time if you'd like to get caught up with me, I'd be more than happy to,
absolutely.
to sit and talk.
Cool.
Thank you.
Any other comments? Okay. All right, take a motion.
I move to appoint Jason Bangma and Craig Burnham as fire lieutenants.
Step down in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right. Congratulations, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so we jumped right into the public hearing because we were running a few minutes late, so I will just open it up real quick for citizen statements and petitions. Are there any? Okay. Hearing none, see none? Okay. I'll take a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, thank you.
Thanks, everybody.